Hey, what's going on, Noel Nation? It's CJ Wilson here with Doak Talk. We got a big time game, prime time matchup against the Blue Devils, a top 20 matchup. So, with that being said, the stars are going to come out in regards to recruits. They're going to be flooding Doak Campbell Stadium. So, let's go on the trail a little bit. On the Trail is brought to you by Realtor Jude Paul. Jude is a realtor in Southwest Florida, but he services the entire state of Florida. If you're trying to buy your home or buy a home, or sell a home, Jude is your man. Again, if you're trying to buy your home or sell your home, 20% of the closing costs will be donated back to you in good faith from Jude. So again, if you're trying to buy a home or sell a home, 20% of the closing costs, Jude will be donating back to you. And Jude is a Noles, right? And Noles like to support Noles. So also, if you're trying to buy your home or sell your home, Jude is willing to donate proceeds to Battles In. So again, you can definitely contact Jude at www.homesforknows.com, www.homesforknows.com if you're trying to buy or sell your home. Noles, let's go ahead and contact Jude if you're trying to do that. Let's take care of each other. Like I said, it's a big time event in Tallahassee this upcoming weekend. Night game against the Duke Blue Devils. So I'm going to go over some recruits real quick. I'm going to go over the commits that's going to be on campus first. Won't spend too much time with them as you guys are pretty familiar with those guys. We spoke about them a couple times before. Then we're going to highlight some other guys that we should be paying a little bit more attention to. So Luke Krumhawk, he's going to be on campus along with Cam Davis, Makai Dansley, the two running backs, Camden Fry, the legacy recruit receiver, Jonathan Daniels, the four-star offensive tackle from the Pensacola area, Tamir Hickman Collins. I like this kid a lot. I know a lot of people talk about Randy Shannon and linebacker recruiting, but this kid film is very good. A three-star, of course, but I like this kid a lot, man. He's not a. If you look at his film, it is a three-star type of talent. Let's jump into Charles Lester, the five-star defensive back commit from the Sarasota area. He will be on campus for the Duke Blue Devils game. Haven't had Charles Lester on campus at all this fall. He did make it to the LSU game in Orlando. And there was a lot of smoke about him possibly going to UF. I know he took a visit to the University of Florida, and it was talks about him possibly taking an official visit to the University of Florida. But again, I don't think Charles Lester has anything to worry about in regards to his recruitment. Grew up an FSU fan, diehard Noel fan, has a very good relationship with Mike Norvell and staff. So yeah, to have him back on campus for this game is definitely big for FSU because you want to get your commits on campus as much as possible, right? But I don't think Charles Lester is the guy we have to worry about as far as wavering his commitment or anything like that. I think he's 100% locked in with the nose. He's also been big on the recruiting trail for FSU as he did recruit KJ Bolden shortly after his commitment to get KJ in the fold for FSU as well. So yeah, Charles Lester is a guy that I think we're going to be fine with. No worries on that end. To get him back on campus is going to be perfect, especially with the electric atmosphere in Doak Campbell Stadium for a night game. Nasir Johnson, the four-star defensive tackle out of Georgia, that's committed to the University of Florida. He will be on campus for this game. Big-time prospect, 6'4", 300-plus pounds, athletic kid as well. Been seen doing black flips and things like that. Physical guy, a big-time need for FSU is within the defensive tackle. I know a lot of people been complaining about defensive tackle recruiting, but I think those complaints will probably be ceased how can I put this? Those complaints won't be as loud, so to speak, moving forward. But yeah, Nasir is a big time playmaker. Like I said, he is committed to the University of Florida. The University of Georgia is also pushing for his services as well. So it's going to be a tight battle down the stretch. I do think FSU is in a good spot, depending how FSU defensive tackle board play out down the stretch within the next one or two, things like that. We'll see how much of a player they are for Nasir Johnson. Excuse me. But like I said, committed to the University of Florida. Georgia's recruiting this kid as well. Big time playmaker, but I don't think he sticks with the Florida Gators. We'll see how it plays. I do think he flips at some point. To who he flips to, that's the question. But FSU is in a pretty good spot for Nasir. Just keep recruiting him and doing good things. Another flip candidate, four-star defense, and we talk about rivals, right? Defensive tackles and rivals. Four-star defensive tackle Artavius Jones, that's out of Blountstown, Florida. He's committed to the Miami Hurricanes. Interesting recruitment, to say the least. I know we had a lot of momentum in the spring with this recruitment. That things kind of died down, and then he committed to the University of Miami. He was on campus again for the Syracuse game last week. He's going to be at campus in back-to-back weeks. For this Duke game. He said a lot of good things following his unofficial visit to FSU for the Syracuse game. Spoke about how it's a family atmosphere and just relationships and things like that. I like this kid a lot. We'll see how things play out, but I do think FSU is in a good spot with him as well. Like I said, the defensive line recruiting is picking up, right? A lot of people have wanted this in the past in regards to defensive line recruitment, but as you guys can see with the names that we have on campus, and then having LJ McCray on an official visit a couple weeks ago for the um, Virginia Tech game, the names are starting to pick up within the defensive line. So I think that's the last piece for the 2024 recruiting cycle for FSU is to sure some blue chip guys within the defensive line. And Artavius Jones definitely fits that bill, and it does help that the Miami Hurricanes have been struggling as of late, as they have lost 2 games in a row with a possible third game this weekend against the Clemson Tigers. So I do think FSU is in a good spot. To be honest with you, I guess it just depends on how much or how strongly FSU pushes for his services in regards to Artavius Jones. And again, that's going to determine how the board shakes out in the next month or so, like I said. But again, the kid I like a lot. So FSU pushes hard and recruits to the end. I think FSU will be in a good spot for Artavius Jones down the stretch once things get pretty serious for him. We want to go ahead and switch gears a little bit and go to the 2025 cycle. I want to highlight my favorite safety within that 2025 cycle, Hilton Drake Stubbs out of Mandarin, Florida. Like I told you guys before a while ago, Mandarin is FSU's for the foreseeable future. I think FSU is in a good spot for Hilton as well. I know Florida's pushing for his services along with others. Florida's in a good spot as well. But I like this kid a lot. His brother is on the FSU roster, so that kind of does help FSU in that regards. But a big-time playmaker, physical kid, as you can see in the film right there, sideline to sideline, makes a lot of plays in the back end and the secondary. Very rangy. Look at that play right there. Gets over there in a hurry, makes a lot of plays on the ball, interceptions and things like that. He attacks the ball in the air too, man. He doesn't wait for the ball to come down. Tell defensive backs all the time, the ball isn't thrown to you, that's being thrown to the receiver. So you got to play the football and attack the football as such. He does just that. So big time playmaker in Hilton Stubbs. He was on campus for I want to say it was the Southern Miss game he was on campus for. So to get him back on campus again for this Duke game is going to be electric atmosphere in Doak Campbell Stadium, like I stated, for a night game. So this is my favorite safety within the 2025 cycle. Big time playmaker, right down the road in Mandarin, Florida. I love this kid. I love him. I think he could be special. Like I said, big time playmaker. My favorite safety within the 2025 cycle. FSU is in a good spot for him. It's going to be a long recruitment, of course, but to keep chipping away and get him on campus, once the spring come and things like that, you'll be in a good spot for Hilton Stubbs. So that's a good job for FSU just to get him back on campus. The last kid we're going to talk about, we've been talking about him a lot within the last couple of weeks. Jayden Parrish, the 4-star linebacker that's committed to the University of Georgia, 2025 kid, and it's been smoke. I'm not sure how much validity it has, but it's been smoked about him flipping, well, not necessarily flipping, but reclassifying to the 2024 class. So that could be something to watch out for as well. But I think FSU is definitely in the driver's seat for this recruitment. He is currently committed to the University of Georgia. I think FSU leads for his services, and I think a flip to the Florida State Seminoles will be imminent any day, any minute. I think this kid can flip to FSU. He is teammates with the FSU commit KJ Bolden, and after KJ committed to not after KJ committed to FSU. Prior to his commitment, he did state that wherever KJ Bolden goes, he will go as well. Perlot has been on campus a multitude of times, too many times to count. Whether it's just camps, games, things like that. So to bring him back on campus is a good thing. This is the type of athlete FSU wants at linebacker. Violent kid, physical kid, athletic as well. I think he has an attitude too. When I say he has an attitude, not in a bad way, just as far as the mean streak that you need within your linebackers, he has that. Perlot is one of those type of players. So to get him back on campus again is a big time move for FSU. I think they're in the driver's seat for this recruitment. I think it's just a matter of time before he go ahead and flips and pick the FSU Seminoles. But again, that's what we got for as far as the recruiting weekend for the Duke game. It's going to be a star-studded event, night game, primetime matchup on ABC against a top 20 opponent. Should be fun. Make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you are coming down to Doak Campbell Stadium for the game, make sure you grab your tailgate ticket. It's going to be a tailgate on top of lot 19. It's going to be a real fun tailgate. As you guys know, all of our tailgates, we have pretty good showings in our tailgate, pretty good reviews. So if you're going to be in Tallahassee for the game, make sure you guys grab a ticket and stop by for the tailgate. Just say hello, man. Come take a picture with me and things like that. We're going to chop it up and let's talk about the Noles, right? Let's have a good time this weekend. Make sure you guys like this video and subscribe to the channel. Hopefully we got some good news from the recruiting front in regards to this weekend. Go Noles.